Hello, hello, how are we doing? How are we? How are we? Oh, it says recording, so. 7:45. Hi, hello. Welcome, beautiful stepmom. Welcome, all of you. So good to welcome you all today here when we start off this first day of the successful Stepmom Summit. Oh yeah. 8:30, here we go. Welcome stepmoms from all over the world. Such an honor to welcome you here today, the start of the successful Stepmom Summit. Ooh, absolutely. This summit will be held over the next week, and on 3 separate occasions, I will be coming to you in this format. I would have prepared a presentation, prepared a lesson if you want, for where I can then share with you what I learned over the course of many years that I've been studying. What separates the successful stepmoms from the rest? Now, I'm also married to a stepmom, which I would like to consider as a successful stepmom. And I've also helped other stepmoms professionally to make sure that they can also join that club of those successful stepmoms. And it would be too much to just share in one video, in one class, one presentation. So that's why I chose to spread it out over the course of 1 week so that we have time to catch up on the videos, because I know that many of you are working right now. Many of you will be watching this later on or just be listening to it, because this might as well just be a podcast as well, right? Now, I will do my best, of course, to be a good host during these days, this successful Stepmom Summit. And now I'm doing this because, I feel like the world needs more stepmoms. Almost half of the families nowadays are non-traditional, shall we say. They're blended, they're single parent, the children are living in between 2 homes with more than 2 parents, 2 sets, or they have 2 sets of parents. And I've also been through a not so happy family breakup. I'm lucky enough to have met the woman of my life afterwards, and I got remarried, and so I get to experience on a daily basis the advantage of having a stepmom and the impact that she makes in the world is in my life, in my daughter's life, and we have our own boy nowadays, and the impact is just amazing. And so I'm on a mission to empower stepmoms from all around the world so that they can have the family life that they want, so that they can have the love that they need, and so that you can get the appreciation that you deserve. Because I know, stepmom, I know that you deserve it. I know that you don't get nearly as much appreciation as you deserve. Now, of course, I don't know your situation personally, but I do know that so many don't. And so I'm here on my mission to, over the next few days, I will give you some fishes every once in a while, but please do know that it is my intention to teach you how to fish. Over the next week, together, you and I, we will upgrading your stepmom skills based on scientific data, based on what works, so that you can upgrade your stepmom skills, so you can up your stepmom level. That's what I'm here for. That's the mission that I set myself out to do. And I am honored to have you on board with me here today. Now, I promise that I will be giving you a ton of value and help, and tips and tricks and a lot of stuff, but I will also give you a lot of scientific facts, data, just that you know. Let's just start off with one. Is that I want you to know, stepmom, I want you to know that you matter. You matter a lot. It's been proven scientifically, it's been established, it's been noticed that the quality of your relationship with your stepchildren, the quality, greatly determines your family's overall well-being and success. Now, if you have a bad relationship, the existence of your family may be in danger. If you have a good relationship with your stepchildren, your family will probably make it overall. But if not, well, right, your family may be in danger. So I know that is a good way to start with adding even more pressure on your shoulders, as if you even need that. I know, but I'm here to help you, to make sure that we can walk away with a plan. Every lesson at the end of the week, you will have a plan. You and I will figure out a way to turn the odds into your favor. How can we increase your chances of having a good relationship with your stepchildren so that your overall longevity as a family can be increased? That's what I'm here for. At the end of the week, I also have, of course, I have an opportunity. If you feel like this resonates, if you feel like this sounds like something you would like to dive into more deeply, but that's something that we can look at that point, right? Now, I do know that in the past 2 years, especially here in Europe, it's been 2 years that this COVID thing has been going on. And I heard so many stepmoms say like, hey man, I feel like I don't have a voice. I feel like I do not have a voice in the decisions in the life of my stepchildren. Say, for instance, with this COVID, with the vaccines, with the boosters, there are many different philosophies. I'm not saying which one is right or wrong. I do know that stepmom's voice, they feel like they do not have a voice in those decisions. Or take, for instance, disciplining. Many stepmoms feel like, where is my position? How do I do this? I do not feel comfortable disciplining my stepchild. Especially when I notice something that needs attention, that needs addressed, and I don't see my husband, the father doing anything, I don't see the mother doing anything, then I feel the need to step up because, I care for this kid, I take care for this kid, I work and I wash and I cook and I clean and I laundry and whatever, and of course many are emotionally involved and they want to step up. And then they go like, how do I do this? Where is my place in this family? Or for instance, when it comes down to sleeping, oftentimes parents would allow the kids to sleep in their bed. I can relate to a certain extent, especially when the kids are younger and you want to make sure that they feel warm and they feel loved, and there's this guilt factor that comes into play, and you want to welcome them in your bed, want to make sure that those days that you do have them with you, that they feel that you love them. And so many stepmoms do not agree. They say like, no, they need their own bed, they need their own safe space, they need to learn how to be safe on their own. But then every other week or every so many other days, the kid comes along and spends the night in their bed. And so it's a kind of a tough situation for a stepmom in that place, where oftentimes they would feel that their hands are tied. What do? You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. So this clear role, being clear about what is your role in the family as a stepmom. When is it okay? How do I step up? When can I say something? In what in what areas of life can I step up and help them? Some stepmoms, and I can imagine that there is a point that you say like, hey man, I don't care, it's your kid, you do what you like, and because you put yourself, it's kind of like putting yourself in a safe place where you don't get hurt, where you don't get shot. But remember that your family's existence depends on your relationship. So it depends on the situation, of course. It depends on the situation. But I know that many stepmoms do not feel clear about their role. They feel like it doesn't matter what I do. I cannot win. I'm damned if I do. I'm damned if I don't. I've heard my wife say that so often. Another biggie that many stepmoms struggle with is that they know that the kids already have a mom. So I'm not here to replace your mom. I'm not here to play a mom for you because I know that you already have one. But where does that leave me? Then who am I if not your mom yet stepmom? And maybe that word in itself is a bit misleading. Maybe we should think of a better word than stepmom because the word mom is in there. But when I'm talking to all these other stepmom coaches out there, they would oftentimes say like, number one, it's very important, right? Who am I? I give love, I expect some love, I expect some respect. Can I expect that? May I expect some love and respect? When I talk to stepmom coaches, they would oftentimes say like, it's very important that you get clear on the kind of role that you want to play. To a large extent, this depends on the age of the kids. If the kids are 2 years old, it's a different relationship that you'll have versus when they're 17. Of course, they're not wanting for another mom to take care of them, but when they're 2, they would like a cuddle and climb on your lap and give kisses and stuff. So it's a different dynamic, different relationship. But yeah, what you don't have to be a mom. You can also be like the cool aunt, or you can be a safe haven for them to go to. You can be step aside and say like, hey, I'm not your mom. I'm here and I live in the same house and I'm your father's partner. But that doesn't mean that I have to then be parenting you. That's one thing. At the same time, it's also important how the kids want to see you, because you may want to be a cool aunt. But if you have a bunch of teenagers there and they are convinced that you are not cool, then good luck trying to be a good aunt. And if you then go into your family thinking, I'm going to be the cool aunt, then you may be setting yourself up for failure from the start, from before the family actually got developed, got together. Another difficult one that I oftentimes hear stepmoms say is like, when the ours baby comes along, like, how do we raise all the kids in the same house by the same standards? It would not be okay for one kid to have a piece of to have some dessert and candy, and the other one they cannot because they have different house rules. So that's oftentimes a hard one. How do I discipline my stepchildren when the ours baby has different house rules? Is that a good idea? And how do the other older siblings affect that ours baby, that younger one that sees older kids maybe act out and maybe feel like they therefore can also get away with that same behavior? Puts a stepmom in a difficult position. I can imagine. I can totally understand. I've had many conversations of that kind with my mom, or with my wife, my daughter's stepmom. So in the next week, I'm going to, over the course of these 3 videos, I'm going to share with you a secret. It is a secret that I came across, that I noticed, a pattern that I noticed when I was going into research, when I was interviewing stepfamilies, when I was reflecting on what we were doing. And I noticed that there is this certain pattern, this kind of behavior that all successful stepfamilies have in common. But I also noticed that most step families don't know about this secret. And that is why I'm here in this summit, so that this secret is no longer a secret to you. I want to share this knowledge with you. So that changes today. Absolutely. Here we go. Nope, no more. I'm not sure, I don't know you, but I can imagine that you maybe were the same as me when you got started in your blended family endeavor. Oh, there's this, you love this man, this guy, okay, he has kids, but you know what? Only more people to love, only more people to go, more love to go around. And you start off and it's kind of like smooth sailing in like this tropical paradise environment. You've got your rose-colored glasses on. Life is good. Well, finally, you got to meet your man. Of course, you don't go in thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm going to head into the scariest storm that I've ever seen. I don't think there would be many blended families if we would go into the endeavor that way. So, as we are smooth sailing, as we are cruising along, enjoying life, and I know, because that was me too. Me too, my wife too, my family too. So that, who is that? Who is that that's here in the camera, speaking to the camera? The stepmom guy. Absolutely, that's me. Who am I? Well, this is a photo of me and my wife. I'm on your left-hand side, my left-hand side. My name is Kim. My beautiful wife, Cheyenne. We met in 2018. And yeah, a couple of years later, still are here, married, happily married. Life only gets better. But it was a couple of predicaments. Not only was I already a dad, I was already a proud father of a very beautiful, amazing, young, sweet little princess girl. But I live in Belgium and my wife is from the United States of America. So pretty much from the start, after we got married, she moved over and we became a family. A couple of years later, fast forward, and this is us with ours baby. This is my son Mason in between the two of us. And there was only one big problem, because when my wife moved to Belgium, at that point she did not speak any Nederlands, as we would say. And my daughter, on her behalf, is where you can see her legs there. She's in that family photo next to our beautiful boy. She was like, you know what? I don't speak any English. Okay, so how do you do that, right? Not only are we blending families here, we're also blending cultures, and we're also, on top of that, blending languages. My wife and my daughter could literally not understand each other. It's a good thing there was Google Translate in this era that helped them out, because they didn't. They had to find a way. They had to just do it. So I took it upon me. I dove deep into scientific research. Like I said, my wife and I, we interviewed many couples. We read many books on the matter, and I am proud to say that we cracked the code. We found a way. We noticed what all successful step families are doing, but what most step families are not doing. And nowadays, with so many families being blended, so many families are breaking up, divorce rates are going through the roof, especially in this pandemic times that we hopefully are leaving behind us. But the sad part is that in blended families, divorce rates are even higher. The families break up even more easily, leaving the kids behind once again, having to go through a divorce, having once again to go through another breakup, and families falling apart and homes leaving behind and disillusioned in love. And so if there's anything that I can do to help prevent that, then oh my gosh. Nowadays, my wife and I, the Claimants, you can find us there. You can read some more about us if that's what interests you. But in the meanwhile, I am on a mission to empower stepmoms all around the world so that they may live the family life that they want, receive the love that they need, because we all need love, especially a stepmom, but also a remarried dad, and also our children, and also the ex. They also they need love, and they deserve appreciation. Stepmoms, you deserve appreciation. I appreciate so much what you do for your family. Stepping up, maybe that's where the word stepmom comes from, right? You step up. I feel like the essence stepmom is like for supermom. Now, I may be on this mission, and I may want to change the world one stepmom at a time, one summit at a time, but I cannot do it all on my own, and I would like to ask you to share. If you can share this video, if you can share this summit with a stepmom out there, they may seem like they're doing okay, but you don't know what's going on the inside. Tag someone that you know, and let's go into this endeavor together. Let's do this together. Let's change the world for the better together. Because I know that as a stepmom, you've been there. You know that joining a family is not the same as starting your own family. When you start your own family, you get to build everything from the ground up. But when you join a family, there was history there before. They've gone through so much before you came along. They had their own habits, their own ways of doing that are weird to you. And so, yeah, joining a family is not the same as starting your own. And how do you do that? How do you join a family? If you come from a step-blended family yourself, then you have a little bit, maybe, of an advantage. I don't know about that. But if you've never been, if you have no idea what blended family life looks like, then, oh my gosh, yeah, you're up for a heck of a ride, right? Now, let's not forget that when we start off, we are smooth sailing. It's a beautiful, calm ocean. The sun is shining. Life is good. We've got these kids, and we are good with kids. And maybe we nannied some, and we had some good experiences with my cousins and nephews, and we're having a good time. But don't forget to share. At a certain time, certain point, there is a problem. It does not last long before some kind of step problem, a blended issue with the stepchildren, with the stepmom, with the ex, with how do I do this? What is my role, my voice? When can I speak up? When do I not speak up? Do I belong in this family? Do I not belong in this family? All of these things, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. What we do not see, what the problems that we see is only a little bit of what is actually going on. Underneath the surface, there is so much more going on that we do not see, that we are not aware of. Now, this is science. This is scientifically proven. This is scientific fact number 2 for you right here. Did you know that the way that you look at the fact that your man has children, whether you look at that how you see them greatly determines your overall success rate as a family? Scientific fact here. It seems that if you look at your stepchildren, yes, ma'am. If you look at your stepchildren as a blessing, as a bonus, your family will probably make it. If you see them as a burden, if you see them as competition, if you see them as then your family probably will not make it through. Which is why I gladly introduce with you at this point the scientifically proven framework, which will be the foundation, which will be the basis for this entire summit, these entire 3 days. I've coined it the successful step family system. Over these 3 videos, I will share with you, so stay tuned so that more blended families know about this, because they need to know about this framework. We need to know that the problems that arise, there is so much more going on underneath. And if we do not tackle the cause, but only work on the effects, the problems will never go away. We might put a little patch here and there, but the cause, the root cause, is still there. So let's see what this what is underneath the surface, shall we? So, smooth sailing, enjoying life, life is good, problems arise. That's life. It's not only blended family life, it is life. Life throws curveballs. At the first layer, underneath the water, there's step parenting. These first layers, the most problems that we were talking about earlier, like what is my voice, what is my role, how do I discipline them, what is my position in this family, they all have to do with like the step parenting, the step parent and the stepchild, which is crucial for your family's existence. It's foundational, it's essential that you figure this out, but it's so hard to figure this out. Okay, let's see what science has to say about that. At the root of step parenting, there is parenting. When we speak of parenting, ladies, it is important that we know, scientifically proven framework here, right? That we know that even in non-blended families, parenting is hard. I want you to know, I just want you to remind that we are not talking about robots here. We're talking about children. Children are living beings with their own will, and they do their own thing. And I may say to my daughter, I want you to sit and be quiet. It doesn't mean that she will do that. Just in the same way as you didn't always do that when you were growing up. When your parents would say stuff like, I need you to do this. Sometimes you did, sometimes you didn't. At a certain age, you didn't just because your parents asked you to do something. So I want you to just keep that in mind. Yes, blended family life is hard. Yes, being a stepmom is hard. But parenting is hard. Family life is hard. Hey, who knows? Maybe even life is hard. It's just something that comes along. And I just wanted to mention that just so you know, just to remind you that if there are parenting, step-parenting issues, it doesn't necessarily mean that the kids hate you, doesn't mean that you're a bad stepmom, doesn't mean that you fail, it doesn't mean that you're not doing a good job, doesn't mean, maybe all these things maybe have nothing to do with this actually going on. Maybe it's just a kid being a kid, because that's what kids do, right? That's what it means to be a kid, is that you do stupid things that you regret. And that's how we learn. That's how kids grow up. That's how I did it. That's how you do it. I did it, I'm sure. So yeah, underneath that step parenting, there is the parenting. Now, how can parenting be a solution to that step parenting? Well, what my wife and I came up with is this joint parenting plan where we wrote out our rules, our house rules, our values, what we find important, the accents that both she and I in this house, how we do it. This is how we do things around here as a family, for all our kids and for us too. These are like the house rules that everybody sticks to. What does it actually mean, that joint parenting plan? Well, the joint means that we do it together, both my wife and I, but also with the children, depending on how old they are, of course. But we do include them. We do want them to know what are the house rules, how do they look like, what is expected of me. What is not okay for me to do. Kids need to know that. And when you involve them, when you discuss these things with them, you also give them a voice so that they feel like they were part of the process in constructing this parenting plan. And now they know why these rules are here. And they also know that these rules are not here because we hate them. We don't make up rules just because I feel like I want to. No, when we become clear of the house rules where we want to live by, and we communicate them with our children when they are old enough, they will see that these rules are there to help them. They are there in their favor, even if it is doing chores. Yes, we expect you to do chores, but it is our way to help you become responsible, to learn how to do these things on your own. We also want to make sure that all children are involved. It's not something that's only the stepchildren or Cinderella or ours baby. No, all kids, we include them, right? And they go, these rules, these parenting rules, house rules go for everyone. Us too. And we also write them down. We write them down on paper. We discuss these things, we agree upon them, and we write them down in a moment that we're calm, in a moment that we feel like we're good to talk about these things. Just so that when there is a situation where tension rises and emotions rise and it gets a little bit like to climax somewhere, that we can go back to this paper, these documents. We don't have to make decisions in the heat of the moment when we feel pressured, when we don't feel like we can think, we can process. No, that's why we write them down, so that in the heat of the moment, we can go back to our plan and say like, okay, this is what we agreed upon. And so for now, this is what we will do. It doesn't mean that these rules cannot evolve. And as your children grow up, they will evolve. Just like kids evolve, just like we as parents evolve, you as stepmoms evolve, and so also this parenting plan will evolve. And we do this on paper. Now, how you go about it, what do we include, all that stuff, that is something that I would like to dive into more deeply in the next video. The 24th, mark it in your calendar. I will keep you posted. I will keep you updated. I would like to then dive deeper with you in how do you make such a parenting plan? What do you include? How do you go about it? It's easy for me to say, yeah, just come up with some house rules. Okay, no, I won't leave you hanging there. If I can help you, if I can help your family there, if I can help your children, your husband, and you, stepmom, that's what I'm here for. That's why I am on this mission. This is why I am doing what I'm doing here. And which is also why I would gladly ask you to share this with a stepmom. Share this maybe even with a non-stepmom, with a family that you know is having issues with these raising their kids and parenting and house rules and discipline. And how do you go about it? More of that next video, next lesson. In the meanwhile, I'm going to ask you to share this video. I'm going to ask you in the next video, I will share with you what I know. How do you go about it? But I will not only be teaching you, I will not only be teaching you these concepts and these theories. No, I will be sharing with you some actionable exercises that after the video you can immediately implement and get your family moving on. This is the first layer, the first step that you can, if you feel the need, if you feel like this, what is my voice? What is my role in the family? How do I discipline my children? How do I do this with my husband? Think about this joint parenting plan. This is what I would definitely advise you to start. So that, please do share. And I'm asking you after this video, which one thing resonated? Which one thing will you next week, next month, next year. When April 21, 23 comes around, we say like, oh yeah, I did this stepmom summit, the successful stepmom summit. I remember this one thing. What is it? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what made most sense. Please let me know if you have a question in there, if there's something that was unclear. Now, this is only the first of 3, so I will be taking you further along this path, this successful step family system. We will be going much deeper because underneath the parenting, there are other layers to tackle. And if we go to that root and that foundation is good, then we can build upon that. And everything that we build upon is built upon something strong that can last the test of anything like time, whatever test. But when we do not have a strong foundation, and we're only tackling the game of the level of the problems that rise above service, it's a loophole. It will never end. So leave a comment, share, tag your favorite stepmom so that they also know about this summit. Now, I did tell you that after this summit is over, there will be an opportunity for you to take things further along. If you feel like this makes sense, if you feel like this resonates with you. And I want to share with you that I will be launching a society, a stepmom society, a society of successful stepmoms who are on the path to becoming the best stepmoms they are, to becoming successful stepmoms. Because I know as in life, but also in blended family life and in stepmomming and in everything, there's times where things are going well and there's peace and we're doing good and we think that we found it. We're doing good. We find the solution and answer to our problems and things are going great. And before we know it, there's this bomb. There's this like, boom, let's drop a bomb in your blended family, whether it's a custody thing or an ex thing or the stepchildren or whatever it is. It's blended family life. There's step challenges all around us. And before you know it, you find yourself in that loophole once again, on that treadmill, going from blog post to Instagram post to a webinar to a summit to whatever. We're like all over the place looking for an answer to solve this solution that we have. So then where do we go to? Well, I'm creating this community where you can go to for your answers, a community that values your input. What are the struggles, the things that you are struggling with? What are the obstacles that you run into? What I've learned is these obstacles, it doesn't mean that we're not meant to go down this road when we meet obstacles. No. These obstacles, they reveal the path as we overcome one obstacle at a time. Before we know it, we will reach our destination, our wanted destination, but there will always be these obstacles. And I'm on a mission, and I want to empower, I want to help stepmoms. I want to make sure that you can get the quality that you deserve. Nowadays, we live in an era where there's like information overload. You have a question, you type it into Google, and there's a gazillion of sources and answers, and where do you turn to for your answer? It's so easy to get overwhelmed there. So what I'm talking about is a private community exclusively for stepmoms, so that you can know that you can go there when you want to vent, when you want to process verbally, as women do. I would suggest that you not always go to your man. And I also know that many stepmoms, they don't want to go to their men because they know how hard they have it already. They know that they are already carrying such a load, such a burden, and they don't want to add even more pressure. So they suppress what they're going through. But we all know that that's not a long-term solution. That's not how you can resolve things, especially as a woman. As a man, I'm not saying that as a man it's okay to suppress, but even as a woman, come on, these emotions, no, they are so deep and plentiful, and they need to come out. You can do so in our community. Now, when I say this man, you should not burden your man with your venting and complaining, and we will dive deeper into that. Communication, the relationship. The 27th of April, we'll dive deeper into how can you optimize those two. And I can tell you, as a man, as a divorced dad, as a remarried dad, no, not divorced because I wasn't married to my daughter's mom, that there's only so much that we can take. But as a woman, you have to find a way to get it out of your system. It's the most healthy way to work through your things, work through your emotions. And so, once again, I'm asking you, please do share this. Because I've also noticed that there is something so magical when women can come together in a community, in a place where other women understand you. You don't need to use 2,000 words. No, when you just mention one sentence is enough, because they know, they understand you. They know that they themselves have been there. Maybe they are there. It's like a feeling that you belong. We speak the same language, a place where people are not judging you, a place where people know they understand how it is, how it feels to be a stepmom, that they feel the struggle, they feel the pain. So often I hear stepmoms saying that they have been going to a therapist or like marriage counseling, and great therapist and great questions, and they could definitely help me, but they don't understand because they are not in a blended family themselves. They do not understand what we're talking about, where we're going to. People do, people will understand. And you can have a place where you can complain as much as you want without a man shutting you down, where you can get things out of your system. And oftentimes it is with this talking through things that we come to realizations, that we come to these epiphanies like, oh my gosh, this is what's been bothering me. So if you can get that first layer out, and then with the core issue come to your man, ladies, I promise you that changes everything. That changes everything. I can help you with your issues, with my wife's issues. But when she's getting all emotional and she's upset and well, I don't have to tell you that that's not where men excel, right? Um, so yeah, it is a community where you can process. But I'm talking about so much more. I'm talking about a learning community. That's right, built on this successful step family system with a framework scientifically proven that will upgrade your skills, your knowledge, your attitudes, the KSAs, your knowledge, your skills, your attitudes as a stepmom, so that you can uplevel your game, where you will not get lost because there is a strategy behind there. There is a sequence. There is, when you don't want to be tackling this, when you don't have 10 steps earlier, that foundation, that basis, we don't want to build our castle on loose sand. Now, do you want to make sure that you have solid grounds that you're building on, evidence-based, so that you can be that stepmom, that the best stepmom that you can be? Because it is hackable, this stepmomming thing. It is learnable. It is a skill. Yes, anyone, maybe not anyone, but if you want to become a better stepmom, I'm sure that it is possible. If I can help you do that, yes, please. But I want to take it one step further. I want to not only you learning and discussing and talking things through and looking for answers and solutions and co-creating knowledge and how that we can be a better stepmom. You will run into yourself every once in a while. You will come across obstacles that you don't see that you can get across. And I want you to know that I will not leave you hanging there. This will also be a coaching community so that we can overcome ourselves. Imagine that, right? So, in the meanwhile, successful Stepmom Summit that we're kicking off today, this will be a foundation. And if I can help you get any better, then I will definitely do so. But what I've also noticed is that if I can help you get a better stepmom, well, you're not only a stepmom, right? And I've noticed that when you start to learn and start to grow, not only as a stepmom will you be growing, but also as a partner. You will also be learning as a sister, growing. You'll be a better daughter, be a better friend, be a better colleague. You will have all areas of life will be impacted. I like this when you start here and it impacts everything when you focus on your own growth. So the ultimate goal is to have a better relationship with yourself. And I think that that is a challenge for anyone, but I think especially as a woman, I think your emotional life runs so deep. I think men, we're way more simple, way more logical. A woman is not always logical. And if you can crack your code, I'm going to take you through this in the next few days, and then we'll go and dive a lot deeper because there's a lot more where that came from. A better relationship with yourself. So what am I talking about? I am talking about a membership where you, as you grow, as your family grows, as your partner grows, we grow there with you. When your family shifts, we are there with you. You don't have to do this alone. So easy to feel scatterbrained, and as women, I think you do like 50 things at the same time. There's 5,000 things in one day that you do, and people that depend on you, and things that you do for each other, helping each other out. We live in an era of information overload, and maybe I am overloading you at this point. It is not my intention to overwhelm you here. But I do know that in this entire blended family life, it is I consider it my duty, if you will let me, to make sure that you stay on track. That's so that I can offer you this one-stop shop that you can go to, where there's bite-sized knowledge, not too much at once, just in your own pace, in the right sequence, with the right priorities, knowing where to start, so that you can be moving forward. And I also know in blended family life, you will take 2 steps forward and also 1 step back. It's something that you will have to accept. It is part of the journey. And it is also something that if you see why, you will learn to appreciate, because you don't want to be running off, building 50 steps to then come to the conclusion that they're not strong, that they are not built on foundational, long-lasting, essential grounds. You thought you were making progress, but you weren't. So every once in a while, you will be thrown back, you will be slung back, But that's a good thing, so that you know that this one little next step that we're taking is a solid one. Yes, I can trust this. Yes, I can put my foot here. Yes, I can build on this. Yes, I can build on you, and I can build on us, and I can build on our family. And we can then take it one step at a time. And we will be moving up. We will be building together your family there. So give yourself some time. Give yourself time. Give your partner time, your man, your husband. Give your children time. Give the ex some time. It is okay. It is something that you do not want to rush. This is not a 100-meter dash. This is a marathon. This is an ultrathon, right? Like 200 miles marathon or whatever. Do you know, by the way, just another scientific fact that I would like to throw in there, share with you? I feel like more and more people are knowing about it these days, but do you know how long an average blended family takes to get blended well before, like how long term should I be thinking here? Well, ladies, we are speaking about 7 years on average. So for every family that takes only 4 years, there is one that takes 10 years. So give yourself some time. Cut yourself some slack there. One step at a time. Start off with this joint parenting plan. Focus on how do you in your home feel about the values, the rules, what is okay, what is not okay, so that when you run into discipline, when you are unclear about your role, now your role is clear. You are not there to be a parent for those stepchildren. You are there to help them guide, help them not get not punished, or not you're the cause of our punishments. And I would never recommend a stepmom to be the punisher. That's something that the bio dad should do. But you are there to help the kids get rewarded. You are there to remind them of what they should be doing in order to get to the desired goal of the rewards. But we will dive more deeply into those next time, next lesson, the 24th. Yes, ma'am. In the meanwhile, I want to say, as you move along with this joint parenting plan, something that I came across the other day is that we grow through understanding. When we do not understand anything, we feel stuck. When we say, like, oh my gosh, you're doing all these things and I don't understand why you're doing this. I don't understand why you're saying this. That's why my wish for you, my invitation for you, is that when we say I don't understand you, we like the door is shut, and I'm asking you to put the door on a little crack here. What am I not seeing here that you definitely are seeing, but I don't see it? And that's why I don't understand you. But how can we shift that into a, what am I missing? What am I not seeing here? What am I not hearing? What are you not clearly communicating? What is it that's missing here? How can I put that door on a little crack so that there's a little bit of your light that can shine in? And when we can do that, when we can have the other person, your partner's perspective come in, you can then look at each other's world and learn from each other. That's what I wanted to say there. And always know that every opinion, every value, every house rule is always time and space dependent. How people are raising their kids in North America versus in France versus in Senegal versus Japan. Everybody does it differently. And all kids grow up in the end. We all become adults. There is no one thing. There is no one right way in life, in parenting, and in so many things. The only way that is right is when you and your man, when the two of you come together. But that's for the next video. In the meanwhile, let me know, what is your biggest takeaway? What did you learn? What resonated most with you? Please do like, share, tag. I need your help in my mission of empowering stepmoms all around the globe. And meanwhile, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for staying around if you're still here this long. Thank you for your time. I will see you for the sequel. I will see you for the next part, the 24th. But I'll let you know through email. I'll let you know through social. And hope to see you there. Thank you so much. And until then, goodbye, stepmom. You matter.